topics of national interest very dispassionately. And I have three gentlemen of the press who will do justice to today's topics. But let me first acquaint you with what we have for discussion this afternoon. The first topic is the court judgment on Osun State governorship election. You will recall that very recently the Election Petition Tribunal gave a judgment on the election of the governor of Osun State. We had what we call split judgment then. But today, the appeal court has come out with a unanimous judgment, which go on to tell us that the judgment by the court of by the Election Petition Tribunal has been set aside, and that Governor Ademola Adeleke. I'm happy Nigerians realize their voting power. In fact, it is related to the first one, and that is what we call alignment in our news production. Alignment is done in order of relatedness, newness, and what have you. And the third topic is naira scarcity. NSK declares nationwide strike. All this will be discussed on today's edition of In the Newsroom. And I want to I want to introduce the dramatic personnel, those who are going to do justice to the topic. To my immediate right, we have Dayo Odlanepeku. Dayo, you're welcome to the program.
Good afternoon. I'm happy to be in the newsroom.
And sitting next to him is Adebari Ejimakide. You're welcome.
Thank you. It's lovely to be in the newsroom.
And sitting at the extreme right is Abdul Latif Agbola. Latif, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you. Today, it's my pleasure being here. Newsroom is my second home.
Yeah. In few minutes away from now, or a few minutes before now, the Court of Appeal came up with a judgment on Osun State governorship poll, which hitherto had been adjudicated upon by the Election Petition Tribunal. And dissatisfied with that, the governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, went to the appeal court to vent his discomfort with the judgment. And now a judgment has been given. Dayo Odlanepeku, take us through the nitty-gritty, the technicalities, and the fact of the judgment.
Well, don't forget the former governor went the tribunal. And one is that Governor Adeleke forged certificate, and the second is that of overvoting. Don't forget, it was a split judgment, 2 against 1. But at the Court of Appeal today, it was a unanimous judgment, meaning 3-0. Unanimous because the three lordship agreed that Governor Adeleke was duly elected. Overvoting was resolved in favor of Governor Adeleke. Don't forget that the Court of Appeal sitting in Akure had earlier confirmed that he never forged certificate. That the start with, he wasn't an expert. Unlike during the Adegboshola, Oyinlola, that under 40 an expert was brought from abroad. This one was, he was told you are an APC member. I never said he wasn't an APC member. One, he doesn't have certificate as a statistician. And of course, that's only conferred, the judgment conferred authority on Beaver's machine, and not a back for the Beaver's machine, which were brought to the court is asking at what point, the appeal is saying, at what point did they abandon the Beaver machine they asked for? Let me just stop at that.
Let me go to Latif Agbola before coming to Ejimakide. You see, it's a subject of litigation before an Election Petition Tribunal. And I want to say that each time there is a case of election or on election, especially this time around, the Beavers
I'm talking about this current political dispensation. There was nothing like this kind of reverse of a thing. And we used to have a kind of election whereby you experience ballot snatching, the red lights. But now, Beavers is a kind of plus to the improvement of the electoral body. We are talking about INEC.
Yeah.
That means if you are not registered as a registered voter, you cannot, your voters registered and Beavers before going to challenge the result of the election. I believe someone who has won, someone has lost, as far as the appeal is concerned. But the fact remains that
today's is an eye-opener to future election, because now we have seen the role of the Beavers, the role of the voters register, and the role of Form EC8A in our elections. And there has never been a time when election is held in this country that a litigation will not follow. In future elections, do you expect litigations?
Is a new innovations. It's not part of the system before. It was not part of the system. Machines deployed in order to enhance the electoral integrity in the country. So I believe that at this present time now, Nigerians are witnessing development in the use of these machines. And in the future, I still believe that there are some other aspects that are not being uncovered now that will be revealed later as situations goes on. We keep learning on daily basis. And I believe that the use of these machines has been of help to our electoral systems. But sometimes we have the positive side of things and have the negative side of it, of some things. So I believe that if it is used properly, it will continue to enhance the electoral system. But if Nigerians are able to beat these innovations, and there is no bias in the use, there won't be any problem. So litigation will continue to go on. We remember that in the 60s, elections has been a tug of war. It's either because the loser and the winner will never agree. Are you getting what I'm saying now? The election malpractice has been age long. So the issue of electoral contest will continue to generate issues and perhaps eat up the polity. But the most important thing is for the political stakeholders to understand the system and to be ready to do things right in order to move the nation forward. I think that is what is very important. The issue of the Beavers, as we have just heard now, is key, is important. It's recognized by the electoral law now, including the voters register. Yeah. So they are key. They will be an evidence in future elections to buttress points and for argument in court.
The judgment has been given now, Dayo. The government has been delivered, and Nigerians, they still want to take a critical look and see those areas that can be worked upon to really criticize the judgment. Let me use that word. Do you believe, do you think that judgment is controvertible?
Well, I don't know, but I know the court of last is still the Supreme Court. But let me make a pronouncement, and I don't know. I hardly can Supreme Court go against the judgment of appeal court. It's very rare. I'm not saying it has not happened, but very rare.
Especially when it is unanimous.
Don't also forget, before I going to delve a bit into what you just asked, don't forget that he who alleged must prove. That's what the law says. You must be able to, I want to talk about the issue of overvoting. If you are challenging an issue aside the Beaver thing and register, you must be able to establish that there is overvoting in all the polling units as a litigant. In essence, you must be able to tell us in polling booth 1, 2, 3, the overvoting is this number. The amount of overvoting is this. It's not as if you just tell us in the election there are over 1,000 overvoting. We are.
And how?
And how? So you see, the issue of proofing is a serious matter in an election petition tribunal. You must be able to prove beyond reasonable doubt, one, of non-compliance, of either overvoting or destruction of election. You must be able to with evidence.
Concrete.
So it is that, but then I can say that, not authoritatively now, that it might be very difficult for Supreme Court to throw away what the Appeal Court has just established. One, on forgery, which had already been decided upon by a court of judicial, the Court of Appeal of Akure, sitting in Akure, and of course, the mere fact that the star witness of former Governor Oyetola was an APC member who wasn't an expert and who doesn't have certificate as a statistician.
Thank you very much. We wouldn't want to go more. We want to go further on that because of the fact that our time is fast spent. We have to go to the second topic of the day, and it is related to the first one. So we may take the two of them together now. I'm happy Nigerians realize their voting power. That is quoting President Muhammadu Buhari. I want to start from Latif now. President Muhammadu Buhari came out to say that Nigerians have seen themselves as the decider of who becomes what in this country.
He's happy. He must have told us what he has done to achieve that. Everybody can be happy that something is happening. But the only thing I can say is that he appended the signature to the amendment of the electoral law, that is Electoral Act 2022, and that is all. But can he tell us, as the number one citizen of the country, as the president, that this is what I have done in this area, in this regard, to for him to be happy that Nigeria. One thing is that, in fact, the way he handled us between 2015 and this time around made Nigeria to be more desperate to have a change in government. Not if Baba is telling someone that he's happy, maybe he's being economical with the truth, or people around him didn't tell him the truth of the matter. It is true that Nigerians are wise. He made them to be wiser because of the way he treated us. He treated Nigeria as rubbish. Let me give you just two instances. The first one has to do with the issue of oil sector, the petrol in particular. When this government came in 2015, the first time they wanted to increase the price of petrol, they told us they are removing subsidy. The second time, they are removing subsidy. Third time, they are removing subsidy. Till now, they have not removed that subsidy. So that one is enough for Nigerians to become wise. Then talking about the current cash problem too. Baba has pushed Baba and the Mefele together have pushed Nigeria to the wall, and that made majority of the people to be bitter while going to the poll. So maybe Baba, if Baba tomorrow tell us that he used all these two as a gimmick to ensure that Nigerians went wide to get what belongs to them, I can agree with him. But if he wants to tell us that he has done something special, and that's why he's happy, I disagree with him. He's our leader, he's another person, he's our president, but the fact remains that because he treated us the way he treated us, that's why Nigerians were ready to ensure that the change got. And some people are even saying Baba did all this in order to ensure that someone from his own zone, Alhaji Abubakar, continued after him, being people from the same tribe. That's what some people believe. So by and large, I am also happy that Nigerians are getting it right when it comes to election matter. But Baba cannot tell us because he did something right, that's why Nigerians are getting it right. No.
Ejibakede,
Okay.
The statement made by President Muhammadu Buhari that he's happy that Nigerians realize their voting power. Before now, we have been voting, and we have been electing our leaders. Even before him. Now we have elected, and because the president is saying he's having Nigerians realize their voting power. Will you can you tell us how you feel when you first heard the president saying this?
Thank you. When I had the postulations made by Mr. President, I want to satisfied with and we have already experienced what happened in the past by some political leaders, even Nigerian leaders, how they intervene in the polity, in the electoral system. But I want to commend him in that area that it is obvious that he allowed the electoral body to do their job without any interference, except that he gives them the needed materials and support for successful conduct of the general elections.
Yeah.
So in terms of polity, I think he maintained his position that he doesn't want to be partial. He wants Nigerians to speak, to choose for themselves. So he expresses deal like that. Nigerians are able to choose their leaders without his interference, without throwing his weight behind any candidate. And at the same time, this is reflected in political parties. You see that unlike before, though it is 50-50, political party will say, okay, you vote for so. You see a group of people that will adhere to that. But within the party also, you see some people that will say they want to vote for credence, for competency, not for partiality or any other things. But they want to vote for integrity and the development of the nation. You remember that Mr. President also said that even the Nigerians are over money during the elections, the electioneering campaign, that they should collectively they should vote their conscience. Unfortunately, there was no cash in money for politics to go about it. So people were able to decide the winners and the losers. So I think this impresses the president, and it is also a precedent that other leaders should follow in the country, not to interfere into the electoral system in order to move the nation forward.
Yes, Dayo. The president has made a statement. But do you think the president's statement will have an impact on future elections?
Let's give it to the president. Just like Latif said, that he has the courage to sign that electoral act with his party members being the majority in the Senate and House of Rep. The Constitution said no. Veto him. You see, if I must interpret the president, maybe what the president is saying, when you say Agbeloba, what the president is saying is Oludiboloba. The voters are kings.
Yeah.
And you see that in the gubernatorial and House of Assembly election of March 18, you see aspirants